everyone, and welcome to the
158th
episode of the Poorly Planned Podcast. My name is Benedict. You may know me better as BHL Hudson. Here we talk about movies, TV shows, a bunch of nonsense, Disney things. Ooh. With me, as always, is my friend, co-host, and Disney concluding friend. I don't know, Frederick. Thank you.
I don't freaking know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, the hanger is setting in. This was recorded on June 13th, and so my hanger... I don't know why June 13th would specifically be a hangry day, but I am...
The way you say hanger does sound like a little child. And so my hanger is present.
I still have not had breakfast, but you know what? I'm potting still, because I'm a legend.
Because I'm a... legend.
Before we get into today's pod, where we are wrapping up our summer-long Disney movies, animated movies saga. Again, by the way, weird mic setup, so I'm sorry if my mic sounds a little weird. Yeah, we're just gonna jump into that. There are time codes down below. I have a little pointless anecdote, and I just thought I'd throw in here because why not?
Let's hear the anecdote.
Just because these pre-recorded pods need a little extra spice since we have no announcements and such. There's no real story to this. I just thought you would enjoy it. That a little while ago when I was still in Ireland, a couple of friends of mine, we went up to like this hill where you can look out over the whole like town, and it's like a pretty nice view, especially for sunset, and like a lot of people go there.
Mm-hmm. And I pushed all of them off.
Just like there's a very interesting variety of people there, but there were also these like, I assume 14, 15-year-old like lads who were, I also assume, very drunk. And like we were all kind of sitting like on a blanket, like just sort of doing our thing, and we just look over and there's like, I don't know, it was just the most like 14, 15-year-old like scenario where they were trying to fight each other, but they just like couldn't do it. They couldn't like muster
for real.
Well, they just like they started getting into this argument, and then like they were just kind of like, it was that scenario of like, hold me back, you know what I mean? Where they
and no one was holding them back. They're like, why are you not holding me back?
Well, yeah, they were like, one of them was like, oh, you're a I'm not gonna do my Irish accent. Just kidding, I am.
No, do it.
You're a fucking rat, you fucking rat. And he was like, you call me a fucking rat, you fucking, you know, other words that I don't know.
Jeez, that's disappointing.
Well, like rat, and there was some other thing called him like a toad or something. There was some like weird, and Irish people just they just can turn any word into an insult.
It's a weird animal guessing game.
Yeah, and then like one of the guys would like, they were all in tracksuits because of course, and one of them would like, I don't know if that's offensive. I'm sorry. Everyone wears tracksuits in the place where I go to college. Anyway, one of them like walked away, and then like he was like, what'd you fucking call me? And then he like ran back as if he was gonna hit him, but then he didn't hit him. He just like got up in his face, and then the other one walked away, and then he came and went up in his face, and like I was like, I don't condone violence or anything. But at some point,
but someone hit someone.
They were like for 20 minutes just like yelling like, you fucking what? What you fucking want? Like, you want someone? I'll fucking smoke you. And then it's like, and then they were just kept staying there. And then at the end they just.
I think all I know from this is that I love your accent.
And then at the end, like after 20 minutes, I thought something was gonna happen, and they just dapped each other up. And they're like, no, you're all right. And I was like, again, don't condone violence. I know that's the preferred outcome, but I was just like, guys, you wasted 20 minutes of your life just yelling nonsense. Guys, come on. I wanted the show here. I wanted the proper live UFC event. But no, we don't condone violence. But anyway,
I will on the subject of fights. I will parallel your story then, because I was out not too long ago. After a bit of a binge drinking night, shall we say? I was out at
all right. We don't we don't endorse this, by the way. I don't think we should talk about binge drinking. You can just say a night out. Okay, so Freddie has a problem. We've discovered this today.
Terrible alcoholism. No, so I was out at the Settle In pub quiz, as one does, right? Mm. And then we did quite bad because we sat there. It's like 5 rounds, and one of them was on UK bridges. I was like, God, this is terrible. And then another one was on UK first division football team. So not like the Premier League, but the league below that. It's like, who the hell knows anything about this, right? So it was not a good round, and it was going to be the last one of the of the summer before I go back to Denmark, right? So I was like, I want to make it a good one, and then it's just a really bad one. I was kind of bummed. This has got nothing to do with the fighting story, I'm gonna say, by the way. This is just like giving a bit of background.
Okay.
I was crushed even further because then they said, tune in or come back next week because we'll be doing an all 5-round Marvel quiz, and I was like, oh my god.
You were born
so
for
I
that.
get to go to the UK Bridges quiz. But I missed the Marvel quiz. I was like, you and me in that quiz, holy shit, it would have been so good.
We would have killed it.
Yeah, but anyways, I was bummed out. I was slightly intoxicated, and then I was like, you know what? Let's go get some food, like at one of the like little like corner shop like kebab places, right? We go there, and then as we go, we go outside to wait, and then a fight breaks out between two lads, as you call them. And then it's like, and it's a proper fight. There's fists being thrown, and they're two big like one is slightly bigger than the other one, but I think they're both like rugby boys because they're big boys, right? Like, yeah, like they're heavy built, and it was proper like freaking fist on flesh, just boof, boof, right? It was like goddamn.
Damn.
But like they were both like, I was like, stand there, and like it looked over, and there's like some people were trying to like break them up, and there's just one guy standing next to us at the kebab place. I was like, God damn, what a show, eh? And he's like, oh yeah, then he points to one of them. That he works for me at McDonald's. So I was like talking to a McDonald's manager. Apparently, he's like, I told him that if he goes through with this, and if he loses, he's fired. I was like, God damn, what a bro moment, because he was just standing there like eating his fries and like sipping a Coke, and then just like looking at it. I was like, God damn, what a weird bruv moment. Just thought I'd say that in parallel to your not quite a fight, where I saw the
Quite a
ultimate
fight. Yeah, I mean, we're not generalizing or anything, but having both lived in the UK and Ireland, not to stereotype, but they sure do love a bit of a scrap. In the I mean, I know this is an appropriate place for it, but in the boxing club, there are some people who spar, and it's like very like technical, and it's sort of like, you know, like a proper spar, and then literally some guys just get in there to like just swing at each other. Like there's no technique. They're just like, this is a place where we get to
they're just
fight
like
legally.
going to a place where they can legally fight.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, so I don't know what the moral of that was, but, let's talk about Disney movies then. We're now going to the modern era, of the Disney animated films. So we've done the other 3 parts. You can listen to those episodes. They're on the Poorly Planned Podcast channel or your Apple Podcast or Spotify feed. And now we're just going to jump into the modern era, starting at Tangled up to the present day. So let's just get into this. Tangled, one of my favorites.
Probably,
big
I'm
fan.
not even joking, probably across all eras, probably top 5, if not top 3 for me, of Disney movies.
Yeah.
I love this movie. I feel like it doesn't get the it doesn't get hyped as much as I thought it would. Like, I think this one's way better than Frozen, but no one talks about it as much anymore.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it does get like quite a lot of love, but I think maybe it has been overshadowed by Frozen being sort of a similar vibe coming out around the similar time. But yeah, I do think it is better. I remember seeing this in the cinema and just loving it. I was like, that was so, you know, especially when you're a kid and you just walk out of a cinema and you're like, that was just so fun. You know what I mean? That was just like a fun adventure. And like,
I love Flynn Rider.
Flynn Rider was like my, I don't want to say idol growing up, but
I don't want to say man crush, but he definitely was.
He's just like the coolest dude. You know what I mean? When you're a kid, you want to, I mean, I assume maybe others want it to be like Rapunzel or whatever, but as a kid, I wanted to be like Flynn Rider because he's like the coolest.
I would still not mind being like Flynn Rider.
Right? He's just like he's a fun, cool guy, and it's just anyway. Why do we always get hung up on like the like admiration / man crush we had when we were like kids for the like male characters of these movies? Same thing with Pitch Perfect. We immediately go there. I don't know why.
God,
Jesse. We both have girlfriends, and yet this is where we always go. I don't know. I just had to clarify that, by the way. We're both straight, I swear.
We're both definitely not in love with each other.
Not that there'd be anything wrong with that if we were.
Yeah, we definitely don't roleplay as Flynn Rider taking turns.
Well, we're both Flynn Rider. How are we? Who's the other one?
Flynn Rider. We just look at each other. Hi.
We give each other the smolder.
Spilled.
No, it's just a super fun movie. It's hilarious. It's like it's self-aware in a sense of like the fairy tale kind of thing, but not in an annoying way where it's sort of like a parody. It's just like in a fun sort of modern take on this fairy tale. Super likable characters, like the main characters, great voice acting, fantastic villain with like
great songs,
and the villain has like a bit of nuance in the sense at least that there's like you can understand why Rapunzel would be torn up about it because it's like this mother figure she's had for her whole life, and also pretty not the most brutal Disney villain death, but kind of a scary Disney villain death as a kid.
Kind of gruesome, like where she like starts becoming a withered old skeleton woman, and then she falls and it's just dust.
Yeah, and also big twist ending when he cuts the hair, and it's like whoa. As a kid, I was like, oh my god, he cut the hair. Yeah, just like fun action scenes. I remember that whole thing. There's like a scene in a like ravine or a canyon or something, and Flynn Rider's fighting with a frying pan and all this shit, and it's just exciting. You're just like, this is a proper adventure. This
is really good. And the bar scene with the song.
Yes, yeah.
I've got dreams like really, just much less touchy-feely.
Yes.
That mainly happens somewhere warm and sunny.
Sorry.
So good.
Yeah. I was kind of thrown off because you were like a little bit delayed in my ear, so like I was trying to sing along, and then it sort of like jarringly very quickly switched. But yeah, no, great songs. I also do love the opening. However the fuck it goes. It's a good one. I remember.
It's like, it's not At Last I See the Light. It's
I'll reread the
books.
And
brush my hair.
Yeah.
Saying, when will my life begin?
Anyway, yeah, great movie. Couldn't ask for more. Great animation too. Fun old time. Yeah. Also funny.
A great old time.
The little, the classic Disney side characters. Sometimes they can be like a little like, okay, you just threw this in here to be like a cute little thing. But the gecko and the horse, fun side characters.
I believe he's a chameleon, but
fuck. Sorry.
But go on.
The gecko and the chameleon, I mean.
That was so stupid. I hate that. I liked it.
Then we go on to one that I have never seen, but I think it's famous for being Disney's biggest bomb, maybe?
Okay.
It's called Mars Needs Moms. Have you heard of this?
What? I've never heard of this.
Alternatively titled Mars Needs MILFs? No, but it's
welcome to this kid-friendly Disney episode we're doing. Mars requires MILFs.
None of our episodes are family friendly. We just talked about our No. I just searched. Okay, can I just explain myself here? I was trying to search Mars Needs Moms to see what this movie looks like. And instead I did search Mars Needs MILFs. And I just see the Google thing that says some results may be explicit. And I was like, oh no. Please no. So anyway.
We all know that you meant to search for that.
It's apparently...
The moment we stop recording, I know what you're doing.
Well, it's apparently an alien erotic novel.
What?
Anyway, Mars Needs Moms is what we're talking about here. Sorry. Yeah, to be clear, this is not...
erotic novel. Genuinely, I am actually interested in hearing about this now.
This is... none of our episodes are family friendly. We did spend the whole beginning talking about fighting, and now, oh my god, this looks fucking horrifying. Jesus. My god.
Are you on Mars Need Moms or MILFs right now?
Moms. So it's one of those motion capture, like, Polar Express type of things, maybe?
Oh my god, what is this?
This is nightmare fuel. Anyway, it cost $150 million and made $39 million. So,
I don't blame anyone for not wanting to watch. The freaking... Is this the main character? Is... What?
I don't know. Yeah, no. Anyway, so let's not talk more about that. Moving on.
God, that's truly terrifying.
Also, yeah,
I genuinely think I prefer watching Mars Need MILFs.
If any kids have come across this, by the way, because it's like Disney stuff, this is not a family-friendly pod. It's not like a super terribly like R-rated pod, but it's it's.
But we will talk about MILFs.
Occasionally we bring up MILFs or... Anyway, moving on, we have next up 2011's Winnie the Pooh, which is just they keep just spawning in more of these movies. That like we can never
they do.
reach the last one. But I really love this movie. I
don't think I've seen this movie.
I believe we talked about it, but I did watch it once, like 5 times on a plane ride or something like that. I just watched it over and over and over again. And embarrassingly, this would have been when I was like 10 or 11, so I wasn't even like 5. I was like kind of an adult person almost. But this one,
adult person almost.
This one is like it's very kind of. It's more like self-aware. Like it's sort of like I remember there's a part where like the actual letters of the story. So like there's kind of like a storybook opening, and then like the actual like letters of the words of the story like fall into their world, and they use it to I don't know. There are little moments like that. It's just
I'm seeing a picture of it here. It looks quite fun.
It's just a fun movie. Yeah, I remember it's like the most fun version of Winnie the Pooh that I can like remember. Like of course there are like tons of the classic stuff, but I just remember. It was really enjoyable. So, go Winnie.
Nice. Go Winnie.
Frankenweenie doesn't really count as a Disney movie, I guess. I guess it does. Have you seen Frankenweenie?
Frankenweenie is... I think I have a long time ago, but again, kind of a slightly scary movie, if I remember. Like, the way Frankenweenie is made. Is it Tim Burton who's made that?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I just
Very
remember
Tim Burton.
thinking the title Frankenweenie was hilarious when I was 11 or whatever. But yeah, I have not seen it, but allegedly, apparently good. I don't know. Anyway.
Is that the one with Johnny Depp in it? Or no, that's the Princess Bride, or the Dead Princess Bride, or something like that. The Corpse Bride.
The Dead Princess Bride, my favorite movie. We then come to Wreck-It Ralph.
Ooh.
I'm a controversial take here. I think it's a good movie. I think it's a little overrated.
Overrated. I agree.
Overrated. It's people put it up as this like, and again, this is just our opinion. You could say the same thing about what we do, but people put it up as like this, like one of the best of the new era, and it's certainly fun. And I think maybe it's because people were so excited about like Disney doing like a video game thing, and it was so like different, maybe. But I remember thinking like, okay, this is good. It's not
good, but it's
not the best movie ever.
Like, even though it's like an original concept, it was quite generic, I thought. It was like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it has a nice message, and it has like fun video game moments to it. I get like it plays with the tropes of that stuff quite in a fun way, I guess. But I don't know. It's one of those. I mean, I did see it a long time ago, so that might also be why. But it's one of these where like I can't really think of anything that like I specifically didn't like. I don't know. It just didn't really click with me in the same way as some of these others, where I was just like, all right, yeah, like that was fun. Like it was that's it. Which again, great movie reviewing. I can't actually think of pros and cons for this film,
but it was fun. But it didn't grip me. I will say I believe it's in this one that I like. It is a bit of a self-aware movie, I think, right? Where like it does go against some like Disney, like normal Disney tropes. For example, when I think it's this one where. What's her name? Penelope?
Yeah.
She like meets up with all the other Disney princesses. Is that in this one?
No, that's in the next one.
That's in the next one. Okay. Well, anyways, I found that scene quite fun, but I guess it's not in this movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really this, but it does kind of feel like the start of this genre that was sort of fun in a very like surface level way, but it's kind of getting annoying of like, look, here's just a bunch of references to things. You know what I mean? Like the Space Jam 2, and there was a new Chip and Dale movie, which I haven't seen, which apparently is okay, but it's just sort of like, look, here's like a bunch of things, which again, I don't know, this is a little side tangent, this isn't specifically about Wreck-It Ralph, but like, that whole thing, it's funny, because I remember thinking, like as a kid, you think about like, wouldn't it be crazy if there was a movie that had like, this character and all these like references together, but now like they just do it all the time that it's sort of lost its magic, what I mean, or like it's fun.
I totally get what you mean.
And I think this one's a better example of it for sure. Like this one does it in a more fun way, where it has like the Pac-Man ghost and Sonic and whatever in it, but like and now it's become so I blame this movie for the current state of Hollywood, basically. But yeah, no, it also has like a nice friendship dynamic with Ralph and Penelope, and she's she's the outcast, but then it turns out she's the princess or whatever, the classic
Yeah.
thing. It's fun.
The classic. Oh yeah, it's just, da, 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 da.
And it has some fun world building, but overall, heavy mid on that one. No, it's pretty good. It's
Overall, yeah. Oh, we've forgotten to give.
Oh yeah.
Oh no. Did we? Was that in the last Disney episode or?
Did we did rankings or like ratings?
Yeah, we did like mid.
Yeah, we did like W, mid, L, which again, I'm so embarrassed that this is a thing we actually do. It's actually.
Do you wanna continue that, or do you want to scrap
All right,
that?
well,
Was that a one episode thing?
We definitely should have scrapped it, but we're gonna continue it because we hate ourselves. Also, we're totally doing it ironically. I promise we're not super lame. We are.
I promise that we don't say mid unironically.
It's becoming bad where it's one of those things where we started doing it ironically and now I've started doing it unironically and I'm not happy about it. It's what we did with dabbing. We dabbed ironically and then I kept doing it and
I am still doing it sometimes.
Yeah. We have planes from the world of Cars.
What a fever dream sentence.
Planes.
Did we talk about Cars in the?
Well, no, because
one?
it's actually a tricky one here because Cars is a Pixar movie, but Planes is a Disney movie. So
now, how have they gotten away with that?
I don't know, but I would like to think it's like big crossover energy here.
Okay.
I am kind of fascinated by the Cars and Planes world. Like,
I hate the Cars franchise.
I feel like
never has there been a franchise that needed to die more than that one.
I think it is dead, to be fair, but
still.
I feel like the Cars world is one where if you think about it for more than 5 minutes, you would immediately be like, wait, how did these things work? Like, I don't know, wouldn't there be like a kind of car where like it wouldn't work if there was a life inside of it? Anyway, these are the thoughts I have when I'm in the shower.
You're lying there awake at night thinking about the terrible things you've done. Wouldn't it be weird if suddenly a person just got out of Lightning McQueen?
Yeah, like, wouldn't it be really disturbing if the end of that movie just twists all the cars are just normal cars and just humans get out of them and the cars start screaming in pain?
Oh my god, my organs!
Or just a human walks into the world and just opens the car door and just like a pained scream and then cut to black. Then
you could make it slightly more erotic and a human walks in and Lightning McQueen is in need of fuel.
Yeah. Oh god. Yeah, no, it's
God.
Do like are there boats? I don't know why the fuck I'm talking about this. Anyway, let's move on.
Oh yeah, what are like not what are boats, but what are boats doing in that world?
Yeah, like real talk for a second. What are boats? Like, let's just be honest. Just like some wood
like,
that you
not even talking about like them being sentient or anything, but what is a boat? What constitutes a boat? Huh?
Like what? Okay, what is the difference between like a raft and a boat? At what point does a raft become a boat? You know.
These are questions that I ask any new person I meet.
These are questions that I ask when we have to draw out a Disney movies episode.
So like there's a boat but there's a raft. Is it just the shape of it?
Right.
Or does it need to have a rudder?
Like also
is the rudder the defining moment / action / characteristic of a boat?
Are bikes sentient in this world also? Like where do you draw the line between what's sentient and what's not?
And will bikes then have like bike seats? Because if they're sentient, they won't need it, would
Actually,
they?
How would a bike?
Because who's going to sit on them?
Right. If someone sits on a bike in the Cars world, is that kind of like a?
Is that like an erotic move? Do you think that when bikes reproduce, they just kind of like?
So anyway, we're gonna move on to Frozen. Anyway, Frozen, the classic 2013 phenomenon starring Josh Gad.
Without Josh Gad, and honestly, this is probably true. Without Josh Gad, not as good a movie.
Yeah, no, true. But yeah, this was, I guess the kids these days don't remember, but back when this came out, this was an enormous deal.
This was what they called the shit.
And it did also, the song Let It Go was a cultural turning point. That might be a little extreme. It was a...
It definitely, if if other Disney movies were a raft, this would be the boat.
No, yeah, it was a huge deal, and to be honest, I don't really know why. Like, it's good. Like, I'm not saying like, oh, why do people like
it's good, but I don't know why it popped off as it did, as they say.
Like, I don't know. It's funny that given, I don't think it's that much more accessible than Tangled, because sort of you would think, okay, it's a more like kind of universal thing that people, I guess, like the Let It Go and the song and the snowman, I guess, made it more appealing. But yeah,
I guess it is more like, oh, look at the, like, also like it's a magical world where she builds like an ice crystal castle, I guess. It's like, oh, look at the little snowman. He's funny and talks weird, you know? Look at Josh Gad trapped in that snowman.
Yeah, I like
if
that.
Only they knew the horrors behind the voice.
Yeah, I like how you say he talks weird. It's just Josh Gad's voice. It's literally just how he sounds. But
if only they knew that man was to become LeFou.
But yeah, I also think it did help that it came out like around Christmas time, which, you know, was a pretty good move. It also fun fact, this cost as much as Mars Needs Moms. Just putting that out there. But it did make $1 billion, so slightly better. But yeah, this is also based on a H.C. Andersen story, which is kind of fun.
It is. H.C. Andersen, the good old Danish boy.
Who's a Danish, Danish kind of icon. The story it's based on is, as we know from the H.C. Andersen ride in Tivoli, is a little bit darker than the film.
It is, yeah.
It's about like a snow queen who kidnaps like a small boy, and then his sister has to come and save him and kill the queen or something.
It's more like Narnia. Almost.
Yeah, this one, I'm pretty sure Narnia was also a little inspired by H.C. Andersen, but this one's obviously a Disney-fied version of it. I like it. I think, the characters are fun. Olaf is obviously a great, fun comic relief. I think Elsa's arc is pretty good. Songs are good. Good twist with Hans McBad guy or whatever. I don't know.
Hans McDoucheface. Yeah, songs are good.
Personally, my favorite song would be... whenever I say this, I can never think of them, but it's the one where they're kind of singing together, where they're like, Anna's singing like about like, who knew we had 1,000 salad plates? And then like, Elsa is like singing something else, you know?
Are you talking about, do you want to build a snowman?
No, there's another one. Wait, surely this fucking Wikipedia article has their song list on it, doesn't it? Hanger, sorry, my bad.
Hanger, goddamn. Need a burrito.
Burrito would fucking slap right now, if I'm honest. Frozen soundtrack. All right, let's go. Yeah, burrito at 7:30 a.m. Honestly.
Oh, I thought you were saying Frozen soundtrack. Burrito, my favorite song.
For the first time in forever. There it is. For the first time.
In forever. Finally.
Love is an open door. Also, I'm not crazy about the opening sequence.
Your mic cut off for me, so it sounded like you got garroted. Life's an open door.
The opening scene where they're like doing like a Scandinavian, I was about to say rap, like chant as they're like doing the
I can think of nothing less musically appealing than a Scandinavian rap.
It'd be like that Yakiga Pafuda song just playing over the opening of Frozen.
For the record, Yakiga Pafuda was a very famous Danish song a few years ago, which literally means I look at birds.
Yeah, I mean, there may or may not be some metaphor in there, but also I like to think that he's just talking about birds.
I like to think that he's just thinking and talking about birds.
Yeah, that's a great song, though. I don't know if it's problematic or something. I remember like...
Ooh, do you want to know an anecdote from my personal life in regards to this song?
Sure, why not? It was playing when those guys were fighting.
No, it's a lot more... I mean, I guess I don't have a problem with it, so I'll say it. But it does have something to do with a grandparent's funeral. Now, let me...
Sorry. I was not ready for that. I was so not ready for that. Because now, for the context before this story, if you want to listen to the song, it's just called Fugle. I think Fugle on Spotify. It's just like a Danish rap song, and I just imagine that playing at a grandparent's funeral. Go on.
Well, sir, yeah, listen to it before the story. But anyways, we're sitting. A grandparent has perished. Anyways, we're sitting up there. And I won't say exactly who. I can tell you off the pod, but I'm sure this family member would kill me. It's someone very close to me. Okay. But anyways, we're sitting. The casket has been brought into the church. We're sitting in the church, right?
Yeah.
And this person, their phone's been bugging for a little bit, right? Like it'll just suddenly play out songs out of nowhere, even though it's like on silent or shut.
Yeah.
Then we're sitting, and the priest walks in. Silence falls in the room, and just before the priest is about to talk, on full volume, echoing in the church, you just hear "Yakiga pafuna, pafake." And the person's face. What do you say?
Nutty sidder på min hæk. I was just continuing the.
He continues it, but basically, yeah. So that just played out. This funeral, everyone wearing black, everyone like crying.
No. I'm so sorry for laughing, but also
a terrible moment, but one of the most fun anecdotes to ever tell.
God. Okay. Yeah. No. So that's horrible. Anyway, Frozen. Yeah. Good time. What do you think of Elsa as a kid? Do you think Elsa was? Because she's sort of, for a kids movie, she has a little bit more of a complicated kind of thing, because she does do, I guess, bad stuff of like casting the world into eternal winter, but also she was like told to suppress her powers and whatnot. So what are we feeling about Elsa? Do you think she's a sympathetic character, or are we saying is she a crazy ice queen of Oceanusen?
I think they dealt with it very, very poorly, because I mean, again, kind of not again, but like it's kind of the parents' fault. Like why hide it? Legit. It ends up she just shows everyone and it's fine, you know? Like if they just gradually like showed everyone's like, oh yeah, she's been kind of cursed, but it's all good because she can use it for good. But now it's they just kind of they created the monster they were trying to avoid, you know?
Ooh, very poignant. Yeah, I mean, in this world that does have rock trolls, probably wouldn't be like the
rock
most
trolls
crazy thing.
And Tangled's in this world. Ooh. You know, Rapunzel walks down to the feast.
So if someone was like, "Hey, this person has ice powers," I'd be like, "I'm more focused on the fucking rock trolls. Those things are gonna like overtake our society."
Yeah, those could roll over and
stage a coup. What will we do? They're unstoppable.
Yeah.
No, fair enough. What do you think of the blonde guy's romance with Anna? I think it's okay.
Ooh, Kristoff?
Kristoff, yeah.
I do like Kristoff, I will say. Kristoff, bit of a king.
He's a bit of a king. He does also has a
like obviously not nearly as good as Flynn Rider, but
no.
he's
a bit of a king. He looks like a bit of a Danish boy, so we'll let it slide. Frozen, good time, I would say.
A good time, but again, yeah, like, and we'll get to this in the ranking, but definitely prefer Tangled over it.
Yeah, no, same. We then have Big Hero 6, 2014's Big Hero 6. I very much like this movie. I think it's great.
I enjoy it as well.
Also, this stars Coach. Excuse me?
What?
Coach is in this.
Is Coach like the brother or something?
No. What? Wait. Are you saying is Coach like Hero's brother?
Yes.
What do you mean? Of course, no. Okay, in not like a controversial way or anything. Hero's brother is Asian.
So you don't see it.
Coach is
how carefully you tread there. Now, not to be completely outlandish here, but he is Asian, sir.
I haven't said anything wrong there, right? It's he plays Wasabi. Do you remember Wasabi? He's one of like the gang.
Asian condiment, I believe.
Are you familiar with the concept of wasabi? You know what? I actually can totally picture that, because I remember there's a line where he goes, "I spelled wasabi on my shirt one time," and that does sound a lot like Coach. No, Tadashi.
That is definitely Hiro's brother.
Tadashi is voiced by Daniel Henney. Anyway, what was I saying? Anyway, this one's is a little unique also because it's set technically in the Marvel world. It's just in like a totally alternate universe. But it is based on like a Marvel comic, I think.
Ooh, very cool.
And because remember it has a Stan Lee cameo.
It does have a Stan Lee cameo. This is true.
Yeah. No, I think it's super fun. It's basically just a Disney superhero movie. Like it's like a Disney animation style superhero movie where it's fun and colorful and has likable characters and whatever.
Yeah, they got the nanotech in there.
Yeah, but then it has like that superhero kind of twist on it. Is it very predictable? Yes. But then again,
in a way that still works.
Yeah, and a lot of kids' films are, and also
you don't go to
so.
kids' movies for the crazy twists most of the time.
Yeah. Baymax, super delightful character. He actually has his own Disney Plus show coming soon. At the end of this month, because everything has its own fucking Disney Plus show. But
sorry, I'm hangry.
he's another one where, sometimes these Disney characters are sort of. And even if he still was, like, you can tell they're made to be, like, cute or, like, they're specifically designed to be, like, that's the funny one. And sometimes it's a bit too transparent. You're like, it feels a little forced. This one, like, yes, he's clearly designed to be, like, as sort of cute and wholesome as possible or whatever. But
comic relief.
Yeah, but he's very fun. Like, it works very well in this case. And, very likable main character. Pretty brutal death for his brother. If you remember, Tadashi, voiced by Coach, he does explode in a massive building fire.
He does? He does.
A bit brutal. Again, I hope I've not said anything offensive there. I thought it was pretty clear that Tadashi would not be voiced by Damon Wayans Jr. They're not, just like he wouldn't be voiced by BHL Hudson, you know what I mean? Anyway, it's not...
I don't know. Why would he not be voiced by BHL Hudson?
I don't know. Am I in the wrong
What are you trying to say here?
I don't know. Yeah, and it has quite fun, exciting action, and just like a really, more so than maybe any of these other ones, just like a really great like friend dynamic. Like I like the friend dynamic in this more than I do in Wreck-It Ralph. Big controversial take there, but it's just like a fun group, and it's all very and I love the world of like with this like weird fucking technology and like they have bubble gum that can be huge. That's not really a main plot point. I think that's just like a background gag. But like,
so hot news on this new Big Hero Coach voices Tadashi movie. There is bubblegum that gets really big and explodes.
I just like to think that that's like the main selling point. They put that on the poster. Coach is Tadashi.
They watch the movie. It's a complete lie.
Their main selling point, just total falsehood. But yeah, no, I like a lot. I think good movie. We then move on to Zootopia.
Ooh, I also very much like Zootopia.
Also titled Zootropolis in various reasons. I think Zootopia is a more clever title because it is a pun, whereas Zootropolis is just stupid.
Whereas Zootropolis is just stupid.
So that's my beef with Zootropolis. This one, by the way, for like a lot of these Disney movies, they don't really have like, and not this is a bad thing, but just generally they don't have like the most like stacked cast in terms of like recognizable names. Like sometimes it's like kind of more like unknown or like singers, which fits very well. This one has quite a stacked cast. We got Bateman, we got Elba, we got J.K. Simmons, Octavia Spencer. Anyway,
yeah, good cast.
I did see it for the first time in Danish though, which low-key was a big disappointment because I didn't get to hear Idris as a big water buffalo, I believe he is. Or maybe actually
yes,
Idris voices Tadashi.
Imagine that in this movie with only animals. Officer Hops walks in. She's ready for a debrief. Tadashi, voiced by Idris, walks in.
It's just Tadashi's charred corpse. That was too far. I'm sorry. Sad death.
Officer Hops walks in. Is there a murder? Yes. It's Tadashi. I hear he was killed by his own vocal cords in that it was Coach.
But
Damon Wayans Jr. to the common man.
To the uninitiated, that would be the son of Damon Wayans Sr. Pretty much.
The uninitiated.
Zootropolis,
I want to know what the initiation is.
Yeah, I don't actually. That sounds horrifying. I think this movie is super delightful.
Yeah, so good.
It kind of is like a modern, like, Disney movie take on, like, I don't know, I can't think of a specific example, but I feel like there were a lot of kids' books, like little, like, you know, picture books growing up of, like, it's a city full of, you know, animals. Like, it's like an animal kind of population city, and sort of, like, they all have their own quirks, and there's, like, the giraffe drives, like, a big car, and the mouse drives, like, a tiny car. And it's sort of like a modern version of that. Sorry, I think there's some fucking car beeping outside. But... yeah, it's like a modern take on that. It's just like a really fun... It's probably the most fun world of, like, the modern Disney things, which I guess makes sense because it is, like...
Yeah, I agree.
That's the whole premise.
Mm-hmm. But I also like that they do kind of, like, touch on the whole, like predator and herbivore kind of thing. Like, carnivore, herbivore.
Yeah.
Like, how there's, like, differences between them. It's like, all the carnivores are... In their nature, it's bad. Also... draws heavy parallels to Beastars, an amazing anime that I have talked about.
Okay. So you were making a good point, and you just made it invalid. But yeah, no, I agree that it is. Like this is a big talking point when it came out, but kind of the, like, social commentary that it does in sort of a kids movie way is well done, and, you know, especially for a kids movie, like, it's not like the craziest, most deep thing, but it's fucking Zootopia, you know what I mean? Like, it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be consumable for kids as well. And yeah, like, a good lesson in there. It's also... Jesus, my voice just went, like, 10. It's also... it's also, like, a pretty good not adventure, mystery movie from memory. Like, it's, like, kind of like a detective mystery story. Mm-hmm. Like, it has a lot of...
like, buddy... Like, I know the fox... What's he called? Nick Fox or something?
Nick Bateman.
Nick Bateman. I know Nick Bateman's not a cop, but there's, like, a buddy cop dynamic to it, you know?
Yeah, it's Nick Wilde. That would be it. I mean, I have to say the names.
Nick
not
Miller
nuts about it.
will be the one.
Nick Wilde, Judy Hopps, Mrs. Otterton, Duke Weaselton.
I just want to know, like, they must run out of, like, pun names for the species, because sure, there's, like, thousands, if not millions, of the same species. Yeah. So how many Ottertons can there really be before it gets weird and incestuous?
Also, big reference, because in Frozen, if you'll remember, there's a Duke of Weselton, and in this one, there's a Duke Weaselton. Big reference. I think it does actually a really good job of, instead of like a lesser movie, I think would just have, like, look, it's a world and it's animals, and that would be, like, kind of the whole thing, and the plot wouldn't really matter. But this one, like, it takes that and it uses it as, like, a fun framework to put an actually, you know, compelling story in. And and it has a Breaking Bad reference in it, which is kind of
what's the Breaking Bad reference?
Remember, they're, like, sheep who are dressed in, like, the, like, yellow hazmat.
I do
like,
remember
meth lab stuff. Yeah, it's fun, and they have a really fun friendship, and it's a good one. It's a really good one. This era in general, I think, is very good of, like, Disney movies. They are a little more, like, some of them can be a little, not generic. I was gonna say, like, a little generic, but also looking at them, like, I can't really think of which one I would point out as that. So yeah, like, I don't know. Yeah, they don't. Some of them don't stick with me as much as maybe some of the earlier Disney films that we've talked about. But in general, I think this era is very, very solid. This is like a second renaissance. Yeah.
Exactly.
We then do have Moana, 2016.
One of my favorites,
which was also known as Vienna in Denmark, because I believe Moana is the name of an adult
film actress, yes,
and
an
so
Italian adult film actress, I believe.
Yeah, so they had to change the title because I guess they assumed everyone had heard of Moana. I've only heard of Moana, the adult film actress, from the, like, controversy around this. I don't think anyone.
Maybe she just got a lot of like notoriety because of it.
Big business move.
Big business move.
Bag secured? Question mark. Yes, I think this one is great. I'm a big fan of, and I know you're going to launch into a deep, rendition of it, but I am a fan of I've been staring at the water.
The edge of the water. God.
Yeah, it's a good one.
And Dwayne sings?
Well, I was going to
Dwayne's in
ask,
this.
what do we think of the Dwoon, which would be the Dwayne tune, for those who don't know.
The Dwoon. Or the Dwong. Dwayne song.
Oh, that would be the Dwayne Dong, actually.
Right. Sorry.
I think his singing's good, but once it was pointed out that it sounds a little weird, I kind of can't unhear it.
Yeah, you cannot hear it. Like, I think it works. Like, he doesn't sing.
Well,
does he sing more than one song?
No, and most of his song is kind of like a talking singing. Like, it's sort of like
it's like a talk rap kind of thing.
Yeah, it's only when he like really breaks in a song that like it gets a little Dwayne weird, but it's also not even that bad.
It's not that bad. I honestly think it works. Like, I think I like Dwayne's voice and it works.
I want him to read me bedtime stories.
God, I would love that.
That would actually be dope as fuck.
As they crossed into the sycamores. I don't know. That wasn't Dwayne. That wasn't something he'd say.
That was everything wrong possible that you could have done there. Also, have you seen the YouTube video? I'm sure you have. Dwayne uses the wrong emote.
What? Oh, yes, I have.
He flips off the guy. It's very good.
Yeah, like the bass boosting they do where it's like...
I love that, yeah. Good. It's a fun movie.
It is, and honestly, like I think a little bit from Lilo and Stitch as well. Like, I love the cultural aspect of like the. Because is it in Hawaii this, or is it like in?
No, I think it's like the correct
like
Polynesia.
Yeah, like Polynesia. Yeah, I love both the landscape, the like cultural aspect of it, and then also I think it's probably. I'll stand by this. Probably the most beautiful Disney movie, like with the water and stuff like that.
At least of this era, I think it's definitely like the most beautifully animated. The water effects. It's like when she's walking into the water and it's kind of like bending to her will or whatever, or like to her walking into it. Very good stuff. Yeah, and like very likable characters, some fun action scenes. And yeah, like the culture and the lore and that kind of thing is fun. I do think story-wise, it's not the strongest. It's a little bit, even for these movie standards, I found it a little predictable. Like they kind of are like structured in a, they have the fight and then he goes away and then he comes back at the last minute to save the day and that kind of thing. Yeah,
like the going away part and then coming back is a little bit, slightly generic.
I'm not crazy about her like goofy sidekick, the chicken and the pig or whatever. Like I feel like that's
like they made, like, what was it called? Like a hen or something? The pig is like barely in the movie, even though like they merchandised it so much.
Yeah, I think that's kind of an example of when they like, you can sort of see that they were trying to make like, the cute sort of comedic relief.
Yeah, that was slightly forced, I agree.
But I like it a lot. I think it's a very fun adventure movie.
Do you like the huge crab? I forget his name.
The like loves treasure or whatever. Yeah. He's fun. Yeah. He has like a fun little
I'm
song.
So shiny.
I remember that scene was very like weird in a fun way. Like it was sort of just kind of
it felt like a fever dream. I was like, what is going on?
And we have Planes, Fire, and Rescue. I know your favorite film of all time. Also, actually, this came out before, but yeah, whatever. Let's skip that. Actually, let's talk for 10 more minutes about if bikes had brains or whatever the fuck we were talking about before. We then have Ralph Breaks the Internet, Wreck-It Ralph 2.
I have not seen this.
I have, and I think it's about kind of relative quality to the first one, honestly. I think it's... I don't know. Yeah, I think it's like probably has a weaker ending overall. Spoiler alert. Do you mind if I spoil it?
Spoil Wreck-It Ralph for me, please.
He fights like 1 million Wreck-It Ralphs who like make up a giant Wreck-It Ralph. So there's like this huge Godzilla Wreck-It Ralph, and it's made up of like millions of tiny normal sized Wreck-It Ralphs. It's very weird because it's like crawling and gross. It's like a leech monster kind of vibe. Anyway,
That does sound very
that
weird.
part's a little. I remember that was happening. I was like, "What? How did we get here?" I don't know. I kind of tuned out for a second. I'm like, what is happening here? But I think it's a fun premise for this character. Like they did video game stuff now, going through the internet, and there are kind of the expected jokes that you kind of like these mainstream movies that take years to make. So the jokes are a little, especially when it comes to like internet stuff, the jokes are a little out of date, and it's like. Even in 2018, it's like there's a whole plot point about him having to like make viral videos, and it's a little bit. It
does
like,
give me slight Emoji Movie vibes.
Yes, it's like way better than that, but there is also like I don't know, it does it probably as well as you could, but any movie trying to do like internet stuff is always going to be like a little cringy. I think like there's like what's it called, BuzzTube or something, and there's like their CEO is called like. Yas or something, and I'm like, I don't know, like
second name Queen,
like and there's like again, this is about as good as you could, as well as you could do it, but it feels immediately dated. You know what I mean? Like it feels like in 10 years people are gonna be like, oh my god, like this fucking movie is like out of date. It's fun in the same way as the first one. I think it just like has a little less longevity, and probably is like a little less good overall, but it does have also the princess thing, which is as far as this genre of like here's just like a bunch of characters and references, is probably the most fun of those in a while. Like
like that's the one scene I have seen from the movie, along with like a few others, but like that one does seem fun. Yeah,
because it's a fun use of that as well, where like instead of just being like here's just like a reference, here's a reference, like at least like it's sort of like all the princesses coming together, they have like something to sort of talk about and do it in a fun way, and they also impact Penelope's like arc, and they have a little action scene at the end, which is fun. They incorporate like their various songs, and it's kind of just fun to see them all in the same place. As a big Disney princess fanatic, it's like fun to kind of see them with like updated animation. It's cool. Solid movie, I'd say. Nothing crazy. Pretty good,
but a good one.
We have Frozen 2. I have not seen it.
I have, and I don't know if it's a controversial take, but I genuinely think it's not a very good movie. I think it's so much worse than the first one. Like a lot of my friends, they say it's better than the first one. I was like, there's just no way. It's so like the story doesn't make much sense. It's a very like it does feel like a forced sequel. I have to say, it's like, do you mind if I spoil Frozen 2 for you?
I do not.
So it's like, suddenly their parents didn't die at sea. They died in some like little cave protecting something else or something like that. It's like, and there's like an old war that, like, and Elsa hears like a weird voice that causes earthquakes in Arendelle and stuff like that. It's very strange. And also, weirdly, I feel so bad for Kristoff throughout this movie because he's being like completely blown off by Anna.
Not my boy Kristoff. They didn't Jesse and Pitch Perfect 3 him, did they?
They did. Well, so she doesn't break up with him, but basically his entire arc, which is also like he's kind of wasted in this movie because like I don't think this movie is very good, but especially I'm just sitting there like being frustrated for him because his entire arc in this movie is that he's trying to propose to Anna, and each time he tries, she just like doesn't pick up on it or just walks away and leaves him like stranded and like just makes him sad. I'm like, what the hell?
my boy
Chris. So I was like, damn, that's not on. But yeah, like overall, I don't really like this movie. Like it's got huge rock trolls this time.
Oh no,
that could definitely destroy a kingdom. But otherwise, like it's just
it's my biggest fear personified.
And the songs also feel slightly forced. Like like in, at least in the first Frozen, like they kind of like incorporate the songs into what was going on. Like in the plots, like like when Anna meets the Hans McDouchebag or whatever the hell. Yeah. And then also like when Elsa builds the castle, it's kind of like the crescendo of it. Whereas in this one, it feels a lot of the time like they pause the plot point to do a musical number and then continue. It's like, what are you doing? Like, I think Josh Gad has an entire rendition about him singing about all the things he loves about summer or something. Or is that in the first one? No,
that's in the first one.
Oh, no, sorry. It's about, growing old. I don't know. He's got something.
It's Josh Gad's existential crisis rant that they just worked into Olaf's story. He was just rambling in the voiceover booth, and they're like, "Yeah, actually, start recording real quick." They just worked it in.
This shit's good. And then there's also like Kristoff's like he does another like "People are better than reindeer" song. It's like God, it just does not fit. So
Okay.
I know it might be controversial, but big, thoroughly mid, if not stank for me on Frozen 2.
I don't know why they waited 6 years to make it. Cause like, it felt so, I can't really explain it, but it felt so like late, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
because in 2013, when Frozen came out, I was like 11 about to turn 12. And in 2019, I was, 17 about to turn 18. You know what I mean? I was like kind of the audience that was there for Frozen 1. And I mean, I'm talking on my ass here. It made over $1 billion. So like, whatever, everyone saw it. But like, I remember the reason I didn't see it or wasn't like that interested. I just remember seeing it. I was like, oh, this feels kind of, I don't know, the whole Frozen thing, I kind of just like passed by. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was just like,
I'll say like, there is, I think after Frozen 1, like the magic or like the social / public like magic of it all, like that everyone was so hyped about, it lingered for like 2-3 years, right?
Yeah, if
and
this had come out in like 2016.
People kind of like forgot about it, and then suddenly, oh, there's a Frozen 2 happening.
Yeah, it reminded me of like when you're in, this is such a fucking out of date reference, but like when they used to have Blockbuster or these like kind of video stores, and you would see like, you'd be like, oh my god, they made a sequel to this movie. Like, you were like, oh my god, there's a Diary of a Wimpy Kid 2, holy shit. You know, it felt kind of like that feeling where you're just like, huh, oh, this exists. Like, I don't know.
Like, you kind of stumble across it. Again, made, as you say, $1 billion.
Again, the literal 10th highest grossing movie of all time. But for me personally, that's how I felt about it. And yeah, I can imagine it feeling a little bit like, I guess we got to make another one. That's the only reason I'm confused, though. Like, if they were just going to make another one, like, it doesn't feel, like, according to what you're saying, it doesn't really feel like they took 6 years to really make, like, the best possible,
Again, a lot of people love it. I just really don't.
All right, I guess fair. I guess
I should have talked about this one in movies everyone loves that we hate, because I really don't think it's very good.
Fair enough. And I should probably watch it before I cast too much judgment. But yeah, all right, Frozen 2, mid to stanky according to FDK. We then have Raya and the Last Dragon.
I really want to watch it. I have not seen it yet.
Great movie, really good. A little jarring, like the style is very cool and kind of has like this almost like epic feel to it, and then it's a little jarring when the dragon actually shows up, and it's a very super like jokey cartoon. It feels like a pretty sharp shift,
so
but then
it's like Mushu-esque.
Yeah, but it's sort of like, I don't know, like the even less fitting. Like, it kind of feels like it's a bit of a Kumail and Obi-Wan situation. But,
I see.
But then it's sort of like after you get over the initial sort of like, that was a pretty big tone shift, it kind of evens out, and it's a very fun film. And it's just, beautifully animated, great story.
Cool. Yeah, don't spoil too much of the story, but yeah, I do. It does seem like, as you say, like an epic movie.
Yeah, no, really, really good. I think it flew under the radar a bit. I mean, it did come out on Disney Plus exclusively because it was kind of like a pandemic thing. So I guess it wouldn't make like a lot of money in box office things, but yeah, really, really good. And then finally, and we have talked this one to death a little bit, not to death, but we have talked about a lot, but finally there is Encanto, which you are not a fan of. I have not seen.
Stank-Canto,
but allegedly, according to FDK, big stinker. Big popular movie though. It was very well received in general from everyone except for FDK.
I know. An unpopular opinion.
But yeah, just again, I watched the first 10 minutes and I was like, yeah, it's fine. And then I stopped watching because I had to do something and I haven't gone back to it. So I should watch it.
And the reason you don't go back to it is because it's mid.
So should we? And if you want to hear more thoughts on Encanto, we've talked about it before. I think in the movies everyone loves that we hate, and also the episode right before that, I think, if you want more thoughts. So should we do a little ranking here? And actually, wait a minute.
I think we should.
Since this is the last part, should we try to do our ranking? And by ranking, I mean we say our top 3 and then our bottom 1. Should we try to do a ranking for all of them as well? Like every Disney movie?
Oh my goodness.
Maybe a top 5?
Can we make it a top 5 though?
I agree.
Yeah.
All right. But for this era first, I'm going to say It goes probably. There's some good ones here, you know.
There's some really good ones.
I'm gonna say Big Hero 6.
Okay.
Then Zootopia. And then Planes, Fire, and Rescue. No, I'll say Tangled, number 1.
Fair.
And
all right. Yeah,
worst.
I think.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah, go for worst.
I guess Wreck-It Ralph 2, maybe? Because I haven't. Again,
you haven't
just of the ones I've
seen Mars Needs Moms, but
no, I have not. But yeah, I guess I'll say Wreck-It Ralph 2, even though I think it's pretty good.
all right, fair. Yeah, I will say I think this this era is probably the one with the best consistency of quality. Whereas like every movie, apart from like Encanto and Frozen 2, are actually like they're all like pretty good. Whereas I think there's been some like absolute stinkers in the other eras. Anyways, I will go with my third one as Zootopia. Love it. Second one, we're gonna go Moana. And first one, Tangled. And then it's an easy last place for Encanto.
Okay, fair enough. Well, in terms of my top 5 overall, in no particular order, I'm gonna just quickly, just the ones on the top of my head. I'm gonna say probably Tangled, Hercules,
Okay.
Jungle Book, Robin Hood, Emperor's New Groove would probably, just off the top of the dome, would be
Off the top of the dome. Fair.
the top
fair.
5.
Now,
And I guess
are we gonna be ruthless and say you have to rank them, or what's?
okay, I'll rank them. I'll say number 5, Jungle Book. Number 4, Tangled. Number 3, Hercules. Number 2, Robin Hood. Number 1, Emperor's New Groove. And I mean, Robin Hood kind of gets like that sort of nostalgia. Like as a movie, probably like, you know, Tangled might be overall better, and you know it has like newer animation and whatnot. But I just think like based on how much I love it, and it's also fantastic, Robin Hood has to be up there. So yeah, that's my top 5.
Fair.
It's actually kind of cool
All
that
right.
I think we'll have very different top 5s.
Well, okay. I'm just gonna off the dome say the 5, and then I'll rank them afterwards. We're gonna go
Sure.
Tangled as 1. We're gonna go The Lion King as another.
Okay.
We're gonna go Treasure Planet as 1. Robin Hood, of course, and then I don't know. I feel like I'm probably gonna miss one that I really enjoy. Moana, maybe. What do you say?
I said Moana.
Yeah, Moana, I guess.
Hercules.
You're thinking.
Lilo and Stitch.
Ooh, again, I
More
would
the
say
show.
it, but it is more the show. Yeah.
Fair.
So, no. Sorry, never mind. We're gonna take away Moana and put in Tarzan.
Okay. All right. And now a cheeky
Yeah.
ranking, perhaps.
Yes. So we're gonna go Tarzan as the 5th. Then we're gonna go. God, this is tough. We're gonna go Lion King 4th.
Okay.
Robin Hood 3rd. Tangled 2nd. Treasure Planet 1st.
Damn. Treasure Planet coming out with a big dub.
Treasure Planet, best Disney movie for me at least.
All right. Well, there you go. And worst, this one's kind of tough because, again, I don't think there's any of these that are, like, super terrible. Like, the really bad ones, I don't think I've seen.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'll say probably either one of the kind of early ones, like Snow White or Cinderella, and those aren't bad. They're just, like, I would never rewatch them, really. They're just
different,
not really...
different time.
Yeah, different time, different, like, demographic. They're also, like, for, I think, an even younger audience than something like the more modern ones. So, you know, it's kind of unfair. I think otherwise I'd probably say something like Chicken Little or Meet the Robinsons, one of those. Just because, like, I'll say Chicken Little. I don't remember anything about it. I just don't think I liked it very much, so fuck it.
Okay, that's fair. Worst one, I mean, again, it would probably be one of the old ones, but again, not really fair. So I might have to hit Encanto?
Damn! Encanto is the worst Disney movie ever made.
No. So again, I'm not including the ones we haven't seen.
Okay, yeah.
Because that's
of course.
unfair. Like, I'm sure
So
there's
otherwise,
worse ones.
The Wild would definitely be it.
Probably. And like I would choose to watch Encanto over a lot of the old Disney movies, but I don't find it fair, like comparing the two. So in terms of where I sat recently, watched a movie and was like, God, this is awful, taking into account it's new and modern, Encanto.
All right, fair enough. There you go. So that was the entire Disney animated filmography, kind of, even though we skipped over a bunch of stuff. But there it is. What a journey this has been. Question mark.
Disney movies? What a journey.
Now it's time for
the Cnews.
Now, this is pre-recorded on June 13th for a little summer pod action Reno, but I do just have a Tom Cruise headline here that we don't really have to dive into, but I just thought the headline was amusing. Hollywood won't let Tom Cruise have sex anymore. So, there's that from cracked.com.
What does that mean?
That means the president of Paramount has Tom Cruise on a dog leash. No. I assume, having not read this article, I assume it's a thing that Mr. Sunday Movies, I think, talked about a while ago, where like Tom Cruise doesn't kiss women in movies anymore because it like apparently has tested negatively with audiences. So if you remember if you can think of like the Mission Impossible movies or like The Mummy or something, he doesn't really have like that. And even in Top Gun Maverick, he has like two very brief moments and they kind of like cut away quickly. So I don't know if that's all just kind of like rumor or whatever, or kind of like just a theory from Mr. Sunday, but I assume, having not read this article again, I assume that is what this article is about.
So weird to think about.
Yeah.
God damn.
Because he doesn't even in like Edge of Tomorrow, like he doesn't really, he has like a romance.
Because it's like the romantic like relationship, but you don't actually see it.
Yeah, and a lot of these movies, like think about the last time. I think the time Mr. Sunday was bringing it up, which is kind of funny, is in The Mummy, he does like kiss a woman to death, if you remember, as like part of his mummy transferal powers, which I think Mr.
Maybe
Sunday,
that was not actually part of the script, and that just happened, and it's for legal and real life like scenario reasons that they can't do it.
Yeah, because there has also, we joke about Cruise, and we're fans of Cruise, but there have undeniably been some kind of strange stories. I don't know, we shouldn't speak on things we don't really know a lot about, even though we do that sometimes. But anyway, that was just an amusing headline. You can check out the article if you want. Hollywood won't let Tom Cruise have sex anymore. Now, it is time for the announcements and such, which
they put a freaking chastity belt on him.
Yeah, which can only be unlocked when he's made 8 more Top Gun movies. And then it'll be transferred to Miles Teller. Now, it is time for the announcements and such, which if we are able to record for this week, we will put in right here. And if not, which is more likely, we will just get to the next time it is not a pre-recorded pod. So, I hope you enjoyed this episode and this whole Disney movie saga series thing that we did here.
God, what a journey.
It's been fun. I've enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it, drop a like, subscribe, hit the bell button. Let us know your favorite and least favorites Disney movies of this era and of all time of the animated ones in the comments, and let us know what you thought of the episode. If you're listening on YouTube, we're also on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You can find us at the Poorly Planned Podcast. Please leave a 5-star rating. Hit the follow button, leave a nice review, tell your friends, tell your colleagues.
Dog.
Tell your cat. Great. You can find me on YouTube, BHL Hudson, Instagram, Twitter, BHL_Hudson. You can email the pod at bhlhudsonvids@gmail.com. You can find me on TikTok at BHL Hudson, Letterboxd at RealBHL and you can find the fan-made TikTok and the fan page is linked down below.
You can find me on Twitter at FTK_DaltSniper. You can find me on Instagram at Fidalgo. You can find me on Letterboxd at FTK_Thwilms. And you can find me on YouTube at FTK Space Gaming.
Thank you very much for listening, and we will see you next time.
Marcy MILFs.